In a last-ditch attempt to control the media coverage of their relationship, Kylie decided to rally up her fans and posted a message on her website defending Olivier.
The sad thing about those two was that she was diagnosed with cancer. Now, I don't know what kind of stage their relationship was at, and something like cancer is the kind of thing that could break up a loving relationship anyway. And I think he got the rough end of the stick in his treatment by the press because you know, he did stand by her. It'd be a pretty nasty person who did dump somebody who was seriously ill. And when she got the all clear, the relationship came to an end, and then he was branded a love rat. And you know, I think it's more complicated than that.
Following her recovery, Kylie must have felt untouchable and protected from negative PR. Throwing caution to the wind, she was soon packed on holiday with film director Alexander Darm. Snatched pictures of the couple were published alongside interviews with Darm's wife, who had been left at home, 7 months pregnant. Kylie's PR team couldn't seem to get their story straight when quizzed about her and Alexander's relationship. Had sweet Kylie turned into a marriage wrecker?
She's seen on a boat with a bloke whose wife is just about to give birth, who doesn't actually know where he is being besieged by the press, and the only thing the poor woman can say is like, I'm sure they're not having an affair, he directed her in a commercial, they're just good friends, they have a working relationship. I mean, what can the poor woman do?
It did spark a lot of headlines of what on earth are you thinking, Kylie? Because no one wants to see her as a marriage wrecker. I mean, if it was entirely innocent, you kind of want to say, what are you doing?
I can't believe that somebody who's been in the public eye for as long as Kylie didn't actually think, hang on, this is going to look a bit dodgy, isn't it?
It's extraordinary she even put a statement out saying that nothing untoward was happening, that she doesn't do that. Kylie doesn't put statements out, hardly ever. It's got to be a really serious subject like it was with the breast cancer. So it's extraordinary that she did that, but it shows that she was obviously very worried about her reputation.
Kylie may have been quick to quench the tabloid rumours this time, but after battling cancer, was her recklessness an indication that she was feeling more invincible than ever? And with her biological clock ticking, is Kylie prepared to go to new lengths to get her man?
When you come face to face with her and meet her, especially now knowing what she's been through with her breast cancer ordeal, you feel obliged to ask her nice questions about nice things and not go to dark places where she might have to relive awful ordeals.
Kylie's always said that she's desperate for children and that that's something that she wanted to do, but I think it's an interesting story in a sense because it's a story of a lot of women of Kylie's generation who've gone for the career and then kind of only realised too late that probably kids and stuff doesn't happen unless you put the brakes on a bit earlier and make it happen. Really, she's an example of a modern woman who thinks that she can have it all, but in actual fact she can't.
Kylie's closest friends and the man most often attributed to her success and her image that we now know is William Baker, and he recently put on a production of Rent in London where Kylie came to the first night, and afterwards there was a backstage after party and Kylie was talking to a woman who was about 42 now, and I heard some of their conversation. It actually was quite heartwarming, but their conversation went like this. The woman said to Kylie, darling, I had a baby when I was 40, so don't worry about it, there's still hope for you. And Kylie said, well, I'm absolutely desperate to have children. That's a wonderful story, I find that very heartwarming. I'm really glad, you know, that it's still possible for me. So it seems to me that that's the one thing Kylie really, really wants in her life, and that's the thing that's missing.
Coming up, Kylie causes controversy with her new look and staying power.
I hate it. I think it's absolutely terrible. It's almost like she's having a midlife crisis and she wants to be somebody else all of a sudden.
But for how much longer can she keep up the pop pretense?
I think for Kylie there's a definite end date to this, and I think she knows it.
She's a multi-million-dollar pop star and an irrepressible entertainer. But having invested in her for so long, are we expecting more after her break from the limelight? An insight into the real Kylie Minogue. Since her signing to Parlophone, Kylie has managed to market herself as a successful brand, putting her face and name to underwear and swimwear ranges, perfumes and books. Even during the year she took off to overcome her breast cancer, Kylie made £1.85 million from worldwide record sales and $2.63 million from other business ventures.
The female singer being known by one name only is the ultimate achievement. You know, the Cher, the Madonna, everybody's after it. Even Christina Aguilera wants to really just to be XT now.
As a brand, she's relatively safe and secure. You trust her not to come rolling out of a nightclub drunk or to say anything that's going to embarrass the brand or be stupid, and it's a relatively safe bet to put your money on Kylie, and that's why we see such big names just really queuing up to associate themselves with her.
Kylie started in Neighbours, the Aussie soap, earning £150 an episode, so she's come a long way since then. Of the £35 million she's worth, probably a third of that comes from merchandising, something in the region of £12 million. I would say £6 or £7 million from record sales. She also has quite a well-organised property portfolio, which is worth in excess of £5 million.
In October 2007, Kylie released her first single since she had been diagnosed with cancer. To mark her comeback, she had reinvented herself once again, and this time her image and sound were stronger and harder than ever before. The new Kylie was a controversial, innuendo-laden package that was not to everyone's taste.
Kylie's new video to Two Hearts is rock chick, quite aggressive. She's wearing leather, corset, cinched in waist. It reminded me a little bit of Blondie, a little bit of Marilyn Monroe. High octane glamour, glossy, and I think in a way she's over the sort of public sympathy, I was ill, this is her, stamping her identity back.
It kind of feels like it's been done a bit before. You know, we've seen Madonna do it, we've seen Christina Aguilera do it. Maybe she's run out of ideas.
I think for me, slightly a bit too aggressive. I think her young fans may have no clue what she's playing at.
I guess the main reason that women kind of go for this iconic Marilyn Monroe image is that Marilyn was the epitome of sexuality. She was the epitome of femininity, and I think again those are those two main attributes that female entertainers still aspire to so much.
I think it kind of ages her as well slightly. I mean, that kind of curly hair. I just think she runs the risk of looking quite a lot older.
The difficulty in harking back to other iconic people is, in a sense, you're not sort of taking control of your own image and putting yourself forward as an iconic person in your own right.
Kylie's provocative new image was not the only thing to generate criticism in the media. In October 2007, she was honoured with a Q Idol Award, and just 3 weeks later received a Music Industry Trust Award for her status as a pop icon. The nomination sparked debate in the press about whether someone so manufactured really deserved them.
I think she's a natural choice for Q magazine. She treads the middle ground, and I think that's what Q magazine's about, really. And I know she was criticised by people like Ian Brown, who said, you know, she just doesn't deserve this.
Whether any award is deserving is always contentious. Unless you have had some 40 or 50-year legacy to the music career. People felt that Kylie was credible, popular and credible, therefore that she deserved something, and her music is great pop hits.
Despite the rumblings of a Kylie backlash, she showed no signs of taking a step back. An appearance on Strictly Come Dancing led to scathing reports in the tabloids about her diva behaviour backstage. And several weeks later, a performance on X Factor, where she wore an unflattering outfit, did little to endear her to the press.
I think she's going to push this for as long as she can. You look at someone like Madonna, who's pushing 50, who's managed to keep a career going for herself. I just don't think Kylie will be able to do that to the same degree, because Madonna's never been known for being cute. Cute is a lot harder to sustain into your 50s.
She has like the clearest skin, the most wrinkle-free skin you've ever seen, which obviously sparked rumours about a lot of Botox there. Who knows the truth? But yeah, she just looks, I mean, clear, almost the points that it could look plasticky.
I met Kylie at the Grammy Awards a couple of years ago, and I have to say, in all honesty, I think she's someone who actually looks even better in photographs than she does in real life. Having such smooth, tightly pulled skin on one's face at her age can be a bit startling in person, especially when it's attached to a very pixie-like body. It's like, I felt like I was seeing a 12-year-old girl and a 40-year-old woman at the same time.
So as the smile gets steelier, will we ever get to see the real woman behind the Kylie mask?
Excuse me, can you just back up for a second? Thanks a lot.
Don't forget, this is a woman who's been acting since she was a child.
Will her music ever reference the struggle she has been through, or remain empty pop? And will Kylie ever be able to relinquish the spotlight and escape from the pop circus?
She's as popular as she's ever been before. It's impossible to say what the next stage will be for her, because it's her unpredictability as an artist that really is what's given her such success.
It's all a little bit sad that she's still on this bandwagon. She's still trying to preserve her image as a pop icon, when in actual fact a lot of her fans would like to see her go off for a couple of years, let her hair down, and live her life.
As she was recovering from breast cancer, and you saw how desperate she was to get back on stage, and how she almost kind of rushed herself through chemo to be able to perform, you got a real sense of how much Kylie needs to be on stage. There are some people who almost need to perform to breathe. And I think Kylie is definitely one of those people who needs to be on stage.
I don't think the British public will tire of Kylie in a hurry, because they've loved her, they've seen her grow up. The fact that we've now seen her go for her biggest battle with her illness, I think the sort of mainstream audience who read about her life unfolding in the Sun and the Mirror every day are just forever endeared to her now, and I think she'd have to go a long way to ever encourage the British public to fall out of love with her.